Welcome again, Melvina. Nice to see you.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Those are the results of the assessment you took. You took the anxiety assessment and the Beck's depression assessment. So what we can do is go through your results for each one individually, and then we can go back and cover and walk through what they may mean for you.
Right.
So for your anxiety assessment, the three things that you chose, one was that you were having issues with relaxing and falling asleep. The second one is fear of the worst happening. And then the third was feeling nervous. So those are the three that you picked, correct? And then for the Beck's depression scale, you chose feelings of sadness, feelings of irritation more than usual, and not sleeping as well as you used to. Are those correct? Would you say those are correct?
Yes.
Based on what you chose, okay. Do you have any questions about any of those?
No.
Okay. And going back to your anxiety, the results, having issues with relaxing, would you say this has been going on a long time, or has it just started?
So if I really had to put a time frame on it, I would say, let's say the last 3 months.
All right, and do you think it has something to do with something specific, or is it just in general, you feel like you're just having issues with going to sleep and you're not really sure why that might be?
Good question. I don't think that it is specific. It's probably a combination of things.
Okay.
So I wouldn't just say like it's just
One thing,
but I think it's just a combination of things that are going on in life that I'm having anxiety behind, and it's affecting my sleep.
Okay. And then the fear of the worst happening, do you think something has triggered this, or is this something that you've always dealt with?
So I think that I always dealt with. It's not one particular thing that triggered it. I feel like I've always tried to be prepared for the worst case scenario. So it's like my mind is programmed to feel the worst to prepare for the worst. So it's in a place of preparation to where, like, if I'm prepared for the worst case scenario or the worst, that it won't affect me as much.
Okay. So that seems more to be about control, being in control. We'll talk about that. Okay, and then the last thing about feeling nervous, is this something that is it something that is making you feel nervous specifically, or is it just a general feeling of nervousness?
So I wouldn't say a general feeling of nervousness, because I'm not always nervous.
Okay.
I think it's very particular what I'm nervous about.
Okay.
So I think my nervousness, to be honest, is only geared towards my relationship, my intimate relationship.
Okay.
Versus just generally or every day.
Okay. Now we move on to the depression. Feelings of sadness. Is this something that you think is related to a specific thing or a specific issue in your life? Or is it just, you just feel sadness about a combination of things?
So I think it's a combination, but it's specific. Okay. So yeah, that's what I said about that.
Okay. And then the irritation, your feelings of being more irritated than normal.
Yeah, and I think this actually falls into the same spectrum of like the sadness or the nervousness. Goes back to like the anxiety. I think I am getting more irritable than normal because of my expectations.
Okay.
And
dealing with a specific issue or thing.
Right.
Okay. And then the not sleeping as well as you used to ties all. It's all
pretty much, yeah. I think my mind is racing a lot, and I don't know how to calm it down.
Okay.
So it is affecting me being able to rest, to sleep, and all of that, because I'm going a million miles an hour in my head, and I have not mastered removing the noise.
Okay. All right. So based on what your assessment and based on what you just said, I think from our conversation before, a lot of it has to do with your interpersonal relationships and the issues that may be going on in those relationships right now.
Yes.
And do you think that there are some decisions that you need to make, and that maybe once those decisions are made, some of this will be alleviated, or do you think it is something that may linger on even after those decisions are made?
So, I do believe that there are some decisions that I can make that may alleviate some of what I'm dealing with. However, I'm not, but on the other end of the bargain, it's almost like I don't want to make permanent decisions. Maybe they will alleviate, but then there's other things that, how do I explain this? I think that there are decisions, so to answer your question is yes, there are decisions that I can make that will alleviate a lot of my issues.
Okay.
But I don't want to.
Okay.
And I don't want to make those decisions is because I feel like it would do more than just alleviating these issues that I have.
Right.
So there will be more effects making these decisions than just alleviating this. And that's why I am very hesitant with these decisions. I want to make sure that these decisions that I make, or any decisions that I make, is the correct one, because I don't want to just shut everything down or make a permanent decision and then it starts to pour into other aspects or other attributes of my life, and now I'm back trying to figure some stuff out, or it reignite these feelings but in a different way.
Okay, I can understand that. Based on our previous conversations, there are two techniques that I want to try with you, because you said that your mind is racing.
Yes.
So there are some deep breathing exercises that we can go over in the next session that I think will help you when you have those moments that you can't sleep or you can't relax. The other thing is listening to some positive affirmations right before you go to bed. Something that's calming and relaxing, I think, will help too. The sadness and the feelings of irritation, I think with us, if you want to continue counseling, I think that you can learn how to deal with certain things while you're in the midst of deciding whether you're going to make those decisions or not. Because I think part of that comes from you being in limbo.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you're in limbo, you feel off. So everything does irritate you more than usual. And you do feel, sometimes when you feel off and you feel in limbo, you kind of don't feel like yourself. And then you feel sad about that.
Right.
Because you don't, and the part of that is not, you're feeling like you're not in control.
It's exactly what you just said, because I think that, yeah, my lack of control or lack of being in limbo, so my lack of awareness on exactly what it is, especially brings on the irritation. It makes me very, very irritable and about everything else, because this is in limbo. So you are 100% correct with that.
Okay. Now, as far as going back to the assessments, do you think that taking the assessments helped you see a clearer picture? Like the questions you had to answer, for instance, do you think it made you maybe realize some things about your situation that you didn't see before, or connect some dots for you?
Yes, it definitely did, because even though the questions were very, very broad, it did make me think. And it make you think and sit in my situation, whatever I'm dealing with in life, but it made me stop, sit and think about that and think about why. So it made me think, am I sad? And why am I sad? And of course, if you're thinking about being sad and the reason you're sad, or being irritable and the reason you're irritable, it's gonna also try to make you come up, well, at least for me, with a solution on how can I alleviate these things? What is making me feel this way, and what can I do to stop it?
Okay, so I don't have any other questions. This is a lot to take in. I know a lot of the times that getting the results from these assessments it can be overwhelming. So, like I said, there's some exercises I want to try with you, but I won't do it in this session because I know it's a lot. But I do appreciate you and taking the time to do the assessment. And if you have any other questions, of course, you can always reach out to me. Or if you think about something when you leave and then you want to email me or whatever, feel free to do that. But when we have our next session, we can cover more of your questions or whatever, or we can go right into some of the exercises you can use to help you with these.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Nice
Thank
seeing
you.
you again.
I know.